Dear fathers and brothers, today's topic is intelligent adaptation and flexibility in the governance. For Jose Murican, a sociologist who was the superior of Indian Social Institute in Delhi and later the provincial of Kerala, used to say at JCSA meetings of the South Asian Assistancy that our administration is not professional enough. We are well educated, resourceful, and have enthusiasm and eagerness in our apostolate, but we have not acquired the managerial skills to be professional in our governance. In everything that we do, there are three questions: what, why, and how. Most of the time, we know what to manage the province or a school or a college, etc., to attain the given goals. We know also why: to spread the good news, to educate future leaders, to empower the poor, etc. But most of us may not know fully the how, the skills, the principles, the strategies, and techniques that make our work effective and fruitful. Our governance is spiritual and apostolic, of course, based on our commitment to Jesus and humanity. Along with vision and motivation, we also need managerial skills in governance. Holy Father St. Ignatius is a very good organizer and administrator. His secret of good governance is found in the introduction to the Jesuit Constitution. Their interior law of charity and love, more than rules and regulations, must guide our administration. Since concrete guidelines may be helpful, and Pope himself asked him to write the Constitution, he willingly wrote. And the last part of the Constitution gives another purposeful insight into our governance. Unity of minds and hearts is vital for Jesuit life, as we are not managers and workers in our communities, we are companions, friends in the Lord. Our world is constantly changing and evolving. Socio cultural, political, and ecclesial situations are constantly changing. We need to live creatively with a changing scenario so that our life and apostolate, in resonance with the changing scenario, produce the desired fruits for the good of mankind and the glory of God. Systems and structures which were created at a particular moment of time to help us carry out our mission successfully are conservative, having its own logic of preserving themselves and often very slow to change. We are persons, we as persons are free and easily can change and work in resonance with the changing reality. Holy Father St. Ignatius, inspired by the Holy Spirit, gave us a beautiful constitution, very relevant and purposeful for his times. If Father Ignatius were to come here today, and suppose a Jesuit were to tell him that we are following all the rules and regulations in the constitutions meticulously, he would chide him, saying, "You fool, I wrote the constitution almost 500 years ago, keeping in mind the times and situations in which I lived. Now that the times have changed drastically, interior law of charity and love should lead you to discern the signs of the times. Feeling free to modify, change, and even to break the laws of the Constitution, reminding us of Jesus, our leader, who broke the Jewish law 163 times in his lifetime. We believe in responsible obedience, not in blind obedience. St. Alphonsus Rodriguez, standing outside the room of the superior the whole night because the superior asked him to wait and forgetfully went to bed, showed his sincere obedience given the understanding of those times. At the present moment, you may consider it only stupidity and not a virtue. Watering a dry stick may show the total availability of a Jesuit, but reveals the thoughtlessness of the superior. Discernment is a powerful tool that Father Ignatius gave us, which must guide us in every aspect of our personal as well as community life. God speaks through the superior as well as his companions. We do not call any more subjects, we call ourselves companions. We need to listen to each other in friendly and prayerful discernment in deciding personal and apostolic matters, leaving the last word to the superior. We must always remind ourselves that the basic requisite for fruitful discernment is spiritual freedom, freedom from disorderly attachments. Once one of my companions asked me how it happened that we make mistakes in our communal discernment. Father John Futrell, a specialist in this communal discernment, when I asked him whether it is possible to have everyone spiritually free and to have a genuine discernment, he confidently said that with openness to God and to our companions, with generosity and praying together, it is possible. The success of our design will be in proportion to our openness, generosity, and prayerfulness. Formation of groups based on region, language, caste, profession, etc. are normal in any society. Coming together informally, sharing and enjoying may be healthy. It is groupism that is dangerous to the society. Closed groups that have a particular thinking pattern at the expense of the good of the individuals, communities, and the society harm the common mission of the society. We must be aware that such situations are common in the society at large, and even without being aware of it, we may be trapped into groupism. If a superior happens to be part of such a group, it will seriously affect the good of the community and our apostolate. To avoid such pitfalls, we need to keep ourselves and the group that we happen to be in consciously open, friendly, and collaborative to individuals and the community. Once one of the provincials asked me to go to a community where some of them happened to be my novices and listen to them and see how to bring them together to think and work together joyfully. I took the opportunity to go and talk to them, and what I found was that communication, which is basic to any group that works together, was missing. Communication implies friendliness, companionship, the respect to co workers, and eagerness to collaborate. When communicated, people feel trusted and ready to take responsible participation in all our works. It requires friendship and respect, which leads to foster one heart and one mind. As a provincial, I found with all my goodwill, I do not have the skills to do everything entrusted to me. I was not interested in finance, in accounting. I do not know much about land, property deals, etc. I had to rely on my procurator and those who knew finance. When I went abroad, I relied on the great Father Joe Bulmesser, the generous mission procurator of German province for advice. To my surprise, miracles happened, not certainly because of my skills, but because of the grace of God and my willingness to trust my friends. Subsidiarity, sharing responsibility, and facilitating a participative approach to governance is a powerful strategy for making community effective, creative, and productive. The well known Captain George Patton of the USA used to say that nobody ever won a war by going out and dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor, dumb SOBs die for his country. Leader's function is not doing everything by himself, but getting things done. In the society, we have individuals with varied talents and rich resources. We have many facilities and opportunities to grow and prosper. Developing oneself and self fulfillment cannot be the only goal in the society which has a common vision and goal. Individuals have to blend and integrate with the community in such a way that we shine together. Individualism is a present phenomenon that we must be aware of and rise above. Further, we must be open and be able to accept others' opinions and ideas, consider them in our discernment process with spiritual freedom. All in the community are corporately responsible for our mission, and we celebrate the success of individuals as success of the community. Fear is one of the primary blocks in personal and healthy functioning of a person. One of the fears that will debilitate our success in administration is fear of failure, called atikiphobia. We are afraid that we may fail and we are not able to take risks. We do not even want to try if there is any slight doubt about our failure. We will get immobilized and we cannot act. We desist from new programs and projects. Fear makes us postpone our tasks endlessly. The anxiety and fear do not allow us to decide. Further, the superior with this fear of failure may not give freedom to others to do their task creatively. The saying goes that if you never failed in your life, you are not a good leader. Taking risks, breaking boundaries, and dreaming impossible dreams are essential parts of Ignatian charism. St. John says in his first letter, there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. Chapter 1, first letter of John, chapter 1, chapter 4, verses 18. Trusting in God and surrendering everything to Him will give us freedom from all fear. I'd like to narrate my dream which I had in the last year of my provincialate. I was in an auto and the auto was going fast through a crowded bazaar, very deftly evading vehicles and people. I was looking around and enjoying the ride. And suddenly I looked in front, and to my surprise, there was no driver, not even the steering handbar. But the ride was wonderful. As I looked ahead, I saw a big ditch along the road. I was wondering what the auto would do now. And the auto easily jumped over the ditch and came to a halt on the other side. I thank the Lord, for He is the invisible driver, and I can leave everything to Him. Just sit, relax, and enjoy. Further, a short session of counseling can remove the atikiphobia. I am an NLP specialist myself and I do it for people. The process makes them feel free, confident, and empowered. According to Holy Father St. Ignatius, personal care, physical and spiritual, of the members of the community is an important task of the superior. This fosters friendly relations between the superior and the companions. This also gives a sense of security to the companions, which is needed to boost our power to greater productivity. One more point I'd like to emphasize today is mutual trust. All of us Jesuits are good people, voluntarily committed ourselves to follow Jesus and selflessly serve Him and the people. In the spectrum of commitment, we may be at 30, 50, 70, 80% or more. We never like to harm anyone willingly, maybe because of misunderstandings or ignorance or of our weakness, etc. Someone may hurt the other. If I consider myself sincere, I have no right to condemn anyone as insincere. If you only trust one another, being compassionate and forgiving, what wonderful companions of Jesus we would be. During formation, I had understanding and friendly superiors who gave lot of freedom and corrected with love and kindness. I remember Father Lawrence Rodriguez, rector during my philosophy, a very simple, friendly person, as some of you may know. I had severe eye problem and I did all my philosophy without reading a page. At that painful period of my life, he was like a daddy to me, giving me strength and hope. For Casimir Jnanadikam, who later became our general assistant and the Archbishop of Chennai, was rector during my regency. He was understanding and at the same time challenging. Once he called me to his room and told me that he has received complaints that I spend a lot of time with choir girls after the practice. And he said that it is okay to be friendly with choir girls, but be also aware of the people's impressions. There was only concern and kindness in his voice and no judgment. Father Joe Lurch in Theologate was my rector. He was friendly, firmly pointing out things to be corrected and giving lot of freedom. Once Father Lurch called me to his room, asked me to sit down, offered me a cigarette and lit it, and he told me that I was chosen as the beadle and congratulated me. We were good friends. I enjoyed working together with him. Only one superior in all my formation was a critical parent, bit stiff and strict, and I tried to understand his difficulties. Once I happened to be sick, and the brother in charge of good food gave me a couple of fried eggs. The superior saw that and told the brother that he should not have given me eggs without permission. As a provincial, I gave a lot of freedom to people to be themselves and to do their work. For Jojaya, one of the eldest in our province, an honest and straightforward critic of people who plainly and fearlessly gives his opinions, appreciated me for giving freedom to people to do their work. When given freedom, people become more creative and become empowered to utilize all their God given resources. Finally, we are a faith community. Our mission is the mission of Jesus to announce the good news in word and deed and liberate all the people, especially the marginalized, the so called sinners. Our governance is based on love and service. We are called to be companions of Jesus. We find our way of life and work through discernment and collaboration in companionship. Thank you very much.